Hello Planet Internet, I am Emperor Cole and this is a presentation of Mindbender Sports. Today I'm here to preview the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings, Week 3 of NFL football. This is Tampa Bay Bucs Corner, so everybody, let's get ready to do it. Let's go! Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a 29-7 victory at home versus the Chicago Bears. In this game, our defense looked stellar. We were able to get 4 takeaways, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles, and we were able to completely dominate the game on defense. Hell of a job, Bucs. On offense, we looked okay. A couple times we were inconsistent. Jameis Winston had a little bit of trouble throwing the deep ball, and we definitely had a little bit of struggles in the red zone. For example, we put up 23 points overall in the first half, and in the second half, we only scored a field goal. So, of course, it's the first game of the season, so there's no need to panic. There's no need to go crazy or anything of that nature, but we want to improve upon that. In our next contest, we're going to be facing a much better defense. So, overall, the team looked very good. We got a very convincing win, and we definitely put the rest of our division and the rest of the league on notice that we look like we're pretty serious this season. This week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel up to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Last week, the Vikings took a tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their starting quarterback, Sam Bradford, did not play that game because of a knee bruise that he has. It's been reported that he has this bruise on his actual bone. It's said to be a very painful injury that limits his mobility in the pocket. So, right now he's questionable and listed as day-to-day, but I do not think Sam Bradford is going to play against us this week. So, now, I would rather he played so we'd be able to face their best guy, their number 1 quarterback, so we can properly gauge how good our defense really is, so we can see how good our team really is. With Sam Bradford not playing, that means that Case Keenum is very likely to get the start. And before we all cheer and think that we're definitely going to beat up on their backup quarterback and he won't be any good, keep in mind this is the same Case Keenum who played for the Los Angeles Rams last season, came into Tampa Bay and beat us in that game that had the lightning delay. And I believe they put up over 30 points on us. So just because we got the backup Case Keenum does not mean it's going to be an easy win. Okay, so right now I'm going to go over 3 keys to the Bucs getting the victory this Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. First, the Bucs definitely need to be able to stop the run. I'm definitely expecting Minnesota to attack us with a power run game with Dalvin Cook and Latavius Murray, who they obtained in the offseason and free agency. Also, keep in mind they have Jerick McKinnon in the backfield, who's more of a power running back as well. So between these 3 guys, expect Dalvin Cook to get the lion's share of the carries. Latavius Murray's kind of going to be a change-up back since he's a bigger back. But our defensive line and linebackers are definitely going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be imperative that we can stop the run and force them to throw the football. If not, they're going to be trying to do long, time-consuming drives where they're running the football on us, tiring our defenses out, and basically trying to wear us down throughout the course of the game. The second key to the Bucs getting the victory this Sunday is going to be our red zone offense. When the Bucs are able to get into the red zone, it's going to be imperative that we score touchdowns. We can't settle for Nick Folk field goals. We have to score touchdowns if we expect to win this football game. The Minnesota Vikings are a top 10 defense, and they have been for about the last 2 or 3 seasons, so expect them to play like it since they're the ones that are going to be at home this Sunday. And the third thing the Bucs need to do that's going to be a key to us getting the victory this Sunday is going to be our linebackers and our safeties have to be able to cover Kyle Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph was targeted, I believe, 10 times last week. He was definitely Case Keenum's number 1 option at receiver. So, of course, he plays tight end. Since they're definitely going to be trying to protect Case Keenum and keep him from getting sacked or keep him from throwing too many interceptions or anything of that nature, they're going to run the football and probably try to run play action. And they basically do short dump-off passes over the middle or out in the flat. If you have your backup quarterback playing, they usually try to stick to very safe throws. The safest throw is going to be to your tight end over the middle or in the flat. So our linebackers are definitely going to have to make sure they can cover Rudolph when he goes out on those routes. Our safeties are definitely going to have to be able to cover him when he tries to run the skinny post or the seam down the middle of the field. Rudolph is a good receiving tight end, and he is slightly faster than people you normally give him credit for, and he has pretty good hands. So we're going to have to make sure we're covering him specifically on 3rd downs to make sure he's not converting. And it's going to be important to make sure we do not allow him to get any big plays over the middle. On offense this week, it's going to be very important that Jameis Winston is very careful and patient with the football. This week, since we're up against a much better defense, Jameis cannot gamble too much with the ball, and he definitely can't take any risks forcing it to Mike Evans over the middle or anything like that. the Vikings do have a couple very able-bodied and good people in the secondary. Balls could get tipped or intercepted, so we do not want that to happen. It's going to be very important that the Bucs offense can definitely sustain drives, eat up some clock, and definitely move down the field. Okay, so this week, the Tampa Bay Bucs defensive player spotlight is going to be on Gerald McCoy. This week, we're going to need him to definitely be disruptive and get in the backfield and mess up some of those plays where the Vikings are going to be trying to run the football with Cook or Latavius Murray. It's going to be imperative that Gerald McCoy definitely gets some penetration up front and forces the ball carrier to try to have the ball to the outside. That gives our linebackers more time to get there and make the tackle. That also gives our safeties and our cornerbacks time to come up and run support. We need him to do things that might not show up in the stat sheet, but things that definitely disrupt plays, things that definitely will be noticeable on the field. Our offensive player spotlight for this week is going to be on Deshaun Jackson. Last week, he only had 3 catches for 39 yards, an average of, I believe, 13 yards per catch. I mean, that's definitely not what we brought him in for and paid him the big contract. Of course, I want to see more chemistry between him and Jameis Winston. I saw Jameis miss him on 2 or 3 deep balls. There was one that he definitely could have caught because the ball hit him in the hands. So, this week, we're going to need Deshaun Jackson to be the player that we expect him to be. We need him to take the top off of this Minnesota defense. We need him to be able to go deep and successfully pull the coverage of the safeties, which is going to make things that much easier for Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, and Cameron Brate underneath. So our player spotlight for offense is Deshaun Jackson. So now it's time for me to give my prediction of the final score for the game this Sunday between the Bucs and the Vikings. So I'm going to have to say I think this is going to be a very close game. It's going to be a lot of defensive 3 and outs. It's going to be a lot of hard hits. This is going to be one of those games that's probably going to come down to a turnover in the fourth quarter that's going to decide who the winner is. I expect us to be able to get a lot of pressure on Case Keenum. I expect us to definitely be able to shut down Dalvin Cook. So expect the Bucs to win the game 23-16. Bucs win 23-16 in Minnesota to go 2-0. Okay, so this has been a presentation of MindBender Sports, Tampa Bay Bucs Corner, Week 3 versus the Vikings. If you are a Tampa Bay Bucs fan, you definitely want to subscribe to his YouTube channel. And every week, I'm going to be previewing the game versus our new opponent for that particular week. So make sure you check out the company at facebook.com/MindBender Entertainment. Follow us on Twitter at MindBenderENT. And of course, check out the website, MindBenderENT.com. And remember, the future is now. Seize the day.